Hey guys, 66 here, and today we are going to be discussing the top 10 best non-rank 4 Xyz monsters. Now, just as a heads up, I wanted to say that this video is completely objective and everything I say will be accurate, as there is no bias in this video whatsoever, and of course, there is nothing wrong with this video, obviously. Of course, there cannot be anything wrong with any of my videos. How would that happen, right? Also, just a heads up again, we will be looking at this deck from today's perspective, with a little bit of attention to past successes and future potential, but mostly from today's perspective. Also, if you guys want to see my top 10 generic rank 4 Xyz, you can find it down in the description below, or maybe up here in the I button, if I ever find out how to use cards, because currently I don't know, but maybe I'll figure it out when I upload this video, or maybe a week down the line. So yeah, without any further ado, let's get on to the list. Coming in at number 10, we have True King of All Calamities. Is it from the Dark Continent, or is it Kaido himself? No one knows to this day. True King of All Calamities is a rank 9 Dark Worm Xyz monster with 3000 attack and 3000 defense. It requires 2 or more level 9 monsters, and once per turn, during either player's turn, you can declare an attribute. For the rest of this turn, all monsters on the field become that attribute. Also, monsters your opponent controls with that attribute cannot activate their effects or declare an attack. Monsters your True Draco or True King monsters in your hand would destroy can be chosen from the opponent's side of the field. Looking at this card, we can see two distinctive categories. The first category is the generic category, and the second one is the one catered towards True Kings. Changing the attributes of the monsters on the field synergizes very well with the True Kings, and that last effect is basically Stormforth for the True Kings. Those effects are very good on their own, but the true effect of this card is that first one. The effect might seem convoluted at first, but what it does is actually quite simple. This effect prevents the opponent's monsters from using any effects or declaring any attacks, unless they're unaffected. Unaffected by card effects. Link in the description below. It's a really good video, you should check it out. You know what this reminds me of? Bagooska. The opponent can no longer attack you and they can no longer activate their effects to stop you. Though, unlike Bagooska, this effect remains in effect even if True King of All Calamity leaves the field. Therefore, it doesn't get beat by Raigeki, since the effect is still there, even if the True King of All Calamities itself is no longer there. True King decks made this card using Denlong and a True King, but seeing how Denlong is now banned, they can't do that anymore. Currently, the main method used is Trish, even if Trish is inoptimal going first. Calamities is just too good to pass up. And don't you dare think Calamities is limited to True King decks or its variants. It can be very useful in any deck that can use rank 9s, which there aren't too many of, but the decks that can make rank 9s make use of Calamities. Calling Divine with Calamities can majorly piss off Invoked, as they realize they can no longer make any of their fusions. And see how Sky Strikers is in the meta right now, you can call Fire, so they can no longer make Kagari, just to rub it in their face. Like, you can't activate anything, you can't attack, and you also can't make Kagari. I mean, they can't activate Kagari anyways, but it just pisses them off more because they can't even make it now, you know? Gotta play those mind games. Coming in at number 9, we have Cyber Dragon Infinity. As you can see, its tail makes a great infinity sign. Cyber Dragon Infinity is a rank 6 Light Machine Xyz monster with 2100 attack and 1600 defense. It requires 3 level 6 Light Machine monsters. You're not gonna use any level 6 Light Machine monsters. They're not good to make. But again, you won't use them, okay? Don't use them unless you're trying to impress the opponent. Once per turn, you can also Xyz summon Cyber Dragon Infinity using a Cyber Dragon Nova you control as Xyz material. The Xyz materials on Nova are transferred to Infinity. It gains 200 attack for each Xyz material attached to it. Once per turn, you can target a face-up attack position monster on the field, attach it to this card as an Xyz material. Once per turn during either player's turn, when a card or effect is activated, you can detach a material from this card to negate the activation, and if you do, destroy that card. In case you didn't know, Cyber Dragon Nova can be made using 2 level 5 machine monsters. So you can make Infinity using 2 level 5 machine monsters, ranking up from Nova. Keep in mind this can only be done once per turn. Infinity really has it all, and it uses Xyz materials extensively, gaining attack from it, getting more Xyz materials, or using its Xyz materials for detach effect. Infinity just has it all. Without Ptolemaeus, Cyber Dragon Infinity is a lot harder to bring out, though using decks like Cyber Dragons, Dynamist, and many more, you can still use Cyber Dragon Infinity today to great effect. The blanket negation and attack gain alone are good enough. On top of that though, it still has a silent honor arc effect to cripple the opponent when going second, or just on turn 3, or any turn after that for that matter. If you want versatility, you can even use the absorbing effect on your own monsters. Be it to get rid of a small monster when you're low on life points and know you can die if you leave that there, or just using it to get an extra negate in a pinch when your opponent knows you have Infinity and turn all their monsters to defense position to play around it. This card is incredibly versatile and powerful. Infinity is just an amazing card overall. Moving on to number 8, we have number 11, Big Eye. Legend has it that Big Eye is an evolved state of the Metal Raiders, Big Eye. Big Eye is a rank 7 Dark Spellcaster Xyz monster with 2600 attack and 2000 defense. It says, once per turn, you can detach 1 Xyz material from this card to target 1 monster your opponent controls. Take control of that monster. This monster cannot attack the turn you use this effect. This is a permanent brain control type card that was a huge part of the Dragon Ruler meta. Big Eye wars were going on where you would use your Big Eye to target the opponent's Big Eye that was originally your Big Eye that they took with their Big Eye to take that next Big Eye to take that Draco set. Basically, you would keep ping-ponging the Big Eyes around, back and forth, taking each other's Big Eyes to try to get the upper hand. It was just an insane format. An insane card made it all a thing, right? It was so cool just seeing who can out Big Eye the opponent's Big Eye, whose eye was truly bigger. Not many decks can make Big Eye today, but there are still rank 7 decks out there, and a deck like Black Magician or Red Eyes may get some good support, or maybe another good rank 7 deck will come out. We've seen in the past that this card is absolutely incredible and can do some very insane things, so I doubt that it will never do anything again. Big Eye is a great card with lots of potential and has had many past successes that prove its usefulness and power. Despite its long age, Big Eye can definitely become a part of the meta again. Coming in at number 7, we have Hope Harbinger, Dragon Titanic Galaxy. Is the Titanic Galaxy as titanic as the name? Who knows? Hope Harbinger is a rank 8 light dragon Xyz monster with blue eye stats of 3000 attack and 2500 defense. Coincidentally, this card is also very good in blue eyes. Who would have known? This is probably the best rank 8 without investing any more extra deck resources into ranking up. Hope Harbinger requires 2 level 8 monsters, and its effect once per turn during either player's turn. When a spell card or effect is activated on the field, you can negate that effect, and if you do, attach that card to this card as Xyz material. When an opponent's monster declares an attack, you can detach 1 Xyz material from this card, redirect that attack to this card, and perform damage calculation. If a face-up Xyz monster, Z, is destroyed by battle or by card effect, you can target 1 face-up Xyz monster you control. It gains attack equal to the destroyed monster's original attack. As you can see, this card is broken down into 3 effects. The first effect is the effect that is most widely known, and it is a really good blanket negation effect. The second effect is also good, but it is sometimes forgotten. it is a lightning rod effect that can redirect attacks. And the third effect is almost completely forgotten, but it is niche and somewhat useful in certain situations. For a rank 8, the requirement is as simple as it gets. It requires 2 level 8 monsters. And it's generic too, it's just really easy to make, and that's part of what makes this card great. Hope Harbinger can negate a spell, blanket, no matter what. That's just a really good effect. And it gets stronger after that. It attaches that spell as Xyz material. It only gets better when you negate things. That's just wow, that's just good. The second effect, if the opponent forgets about it, well, they're in big trouble, because the thing they used to attack your white stone to kill it, well, now it's ramming into this Hope Harbinger and probably getting itself killed, and they're probably taking a bunch of damage too. It's a really good effect. And that third effect is kinda bad due to Master Rule 4, but it can be useful, as, you know, you can use something like Diamond Direwolf or Break Sword to destroy a monster your opponent controls, and then you can use Harbinger to gain the Break Sword or Direwolf's attack. Though you probably wouldn't make those in a deck that can make Harbinger. Dangers exist, so I'm not questioning anything at this point. And yeah, so you do need another Xyz to be destroyed, therefore Master Rule 4 hurts this, but that third effect can definitely still be used, and at that point your Harbinger will be such a big beatstick, it'll just straight up OTK the opponent in a couple turns. I guess it wouldn't be an OTK at that point, but whatever. The first effect alone facilitates a great card, but the 3 effects put together are what takes this card to the next level. Harbinger is just a good card. Coming in at number 6, we have Leviair the Sea Dragon. Did you know Leviair belonged to an archetype? We won't be talking about the archetype, though it's not very good. Leviair is a rank 3 wind aqua Xyz monster with 1800 attack and 1600 defense. It is one of the first good Xyz monster ever released and is a fan favorite partly because of that reason. Its effect is incredibly simple. Once per turn, you can detach an Xyz material to target a level 4 or lower banished monster and revive that target. So it's basically a DDR in rank 3 Xyz form. Leviair was most commonly used in Dino Rabbit to revive Rescue Rabbit. When Tour Guide was still at 3, this was a great turn 3 play where, you know, you would make a Lagia or a Dolka turn 1. And then turn 3, you can normal summon your Tour Guide, special summon a Tour Guide or a Sengen from your deck, overlay those into Leviair, use Leviair, bring back Dino Rabbit, and then you can go on to make another Lagia or a Dolka, which was a great combo back then when the game was slower, and still sounds like a pretty good combo today if you ask me. Today, Leviair can be used to revive cards like Mizuki or anything you banish with Snow as well, so that's pretty good. Though without Terror Top and with Master Rule 4, this card is a lot harder to use. It's still a great card today and is very versatile in what it can do. Leviair can never really be power creep, as a free return from the banish pile will almost always be good. So yeah, Leviair is just a good card, not too much to say. It will continue to be good, and it has been good, and it will just keep being good. So yeah, that's Leviair for you. The new legendary decks are coming out, and there's one for Phantom Knights. Phantom Knights banish, and they're level 3, so yeah, Leviair might start seeing play really soon, and it might kick back up into competitive. And again, it will continue to see play in the future. Has a lot of potential, it was good in the past, and it's okay right now. Leviair definitely deserves a high spot on this list. Coming in at number 5, we have Totally Awesome, because it's totally awesome. How could I not put it in? Toad is a rank 2 water aqua Xyz monster with 2200 attack and 0 defense. It requires 2 level 2 aqua monsters to make and has an effect that says, once per turn, during the standby phase, you can detach an Xyz material from this card, special summon 1 frog monster from your deck. Once per turn during either player's turn, when your opponent activates a spell, trap, or monster effect, you can send 1 aqua monster from your hand or field to the graveyard, negate that effect, and if you do, destroy that card. Then you can set that card to your side of the field. If this card is sent to the grave, you can target 1 water monster in your graveyard, add that to your hand. There were 2 ways that you could summon this card, one of which is no longer viable due to Master Rule 4. That one being using Bahamut Shark. Shark could summon a Toad directly from your extra deck, but currently that would require an open zone, which isn't the easiest to get. It's not that hard, but it's just not worth it. The Toad you summon will not have any Xyz material, so it will not be able to summon any frogs from your deck on your opponent's standby phase or on your standby phase, as you cannot detach for that effect. Thus, to negate something, you would have to destroy Toad itself. Luckily, after you destroy Toad, you can add Toad back to the extra deck, so you can use Bahamut Shark again the next turn. But again, this is very inviable due to Master Rule 4, as it's just not worth it anymore. The second way that is still used today is using Frogs or Paleozoics. Frogs or Paleozoics are actually level 2 Aquas, therefore you can actually use them to make Toad. And after making Toad, it has Xyz materials, so you can use it to summon frogs from your deck, and as the Paleos and the frogs themselves are Aquas, you can use Toad to pop them in order to negate your opponent's monster effects instead of using itself. Also, when Toad is destroyed, you can add something like Swap Frog from your graveyard to your hand instead of adding Toad back to the extra deck. It's a lot stronger of a Toad, but at the same time, it was a lot harder to make. Now it's probably even easier than Shark, just because Shark is now so bad due to Master Rule 4. Toad is an amazing card on its own, and it's basically the rank 2 version of Cyberdragon Infinity if you wanted me to put it in easier terms. At number 4, we have MX Saber Invoker, an X Saber that does nothing in actual X Sabers, seeing as it's an Xyz in a Synchro deck. This is a rank 3 Earth Warrior monster with 1600 attack and 500 defense. MX Saber Invoker has an effect which reads, once per turn, you can detach an Xyz material from this card to special summon one level 4 Earth Warrior or Beast Warrior from your deck in defense position. It is destroyed in the end phase. This card has seen lots of competitive success in lots of different decks. It can be used in the plant combo where you use Ophrys and Darlington to make this in order to summon Thousand Blades, which can then come back after you use Brilliant Fusion and Trick Clown. It's a great combo that nets you Mrs. Radiant, Seraph, and Night rank 4, which is not OP, but it's pretty good. This saw great amounts of success in Zodiacs, where you could use Terror Top in order to then summon Target Tomborg, to then make this, to then summon your Zodiac Rat Pierce, which is what you want to do. So now you summon Rat Pierce without using your normal summon. This was just 3 extra copies of Zodiac Barrage at that point. And currently it's used in Gokis in order to summon Suprex from your deck. As we can see, there are many rank 3 Goki turbo decks right now, using cards like even Gillosaurus and Marauding Captain. Cards that are inherently bad just so you can make Invoker, because that's just how pivotal it is, since one Invoker leads to an entire extra link in Gokis, I believe. Usually you have other cards in hand, so I'm not exactly sure on if just the Invoker is enough, but I believe so. Yeah, it's just insane. So you make Invoker, doesn't matter what you do to make it. Once you've done it without disruption, that's an extra link, and you just won. We can see from this that any 2 monsters that turns into a monster summon from deck is just absurdly powerful in modern day Yu-Gi-Oh! And there are multiple examples of this. Invoker is just one of such examples. Nothing else to say. It's pretty degenerate in what it can do, and it's really powerful. So of course, it gets a spot on the best non-rank 4 Xyz list. At number 3, we have number S39, Utopia the Lightning. Please don't ask me why there's so many Utopias. Utopia the Lightning is a rank 5 light warrior Xyz monster with 2500 attack and 2000 defense. It requires 3 light level 5 monsters. Don't use that. Please tell me you're not using those. Do not use 3 warrior level 5 monsters unless you're playing a rank 5 deck. Even then, you just don't play lightning at that point, okay? Its effect says, you can special summon this card using a rank 4 Utopia monster you control as Xyz material, transferring the materials over to it. So you just rank it up. This card cannot be used as Xyz material. If this card bows, your opponent cannot activate cards or effects until the end of the damage step. Once per chain during damage calc, if this card has a Utopia monster as Xyz material, you can detach 2 in order to turn its original attack into 5,000. For that battle only, obviously. It'd be too strong if it just stayed at 5,000. Lightning is a glorified version of Diamond Crab King that lets you out a lot of things, particularly the ones that don't have battle immunity and are less than or equal to 5,000 attack. So cards like Chaos Max Dragon, for example, which really should have battle immunity, but it just doesn't. The card can out a lot of things, and it can also deal a lot of damage. Normally you just use a Utopia in order to make this, so you invest 2 extra deck spaces for an above average removal card that can also deal lots of damage. Decks that don't really need much of an extra deck, like maybe your Senjus for example, also play Utopia Prime, so then you can use Lightning's effect twice instead of just once. Though that is a lot of extra deck space, 3 monsters. Most people just want to use the effect once, so they just play a Utopia and a Lightning, and that's it. This card isn't absurdly broken or degenerate, but it's a very good removal card. It is very versatile, and it's in the rank 4 toolbox despite being a rank 5, so it fits onto this list while having the power of a rank 4. That's why I place it so high, honestly. Number 3, alright, that's it. Utopia the Lightning. It's a good card, let's move on. At number 2, we have a banned Xyz monster, Wind-Up Carrier Zenmaity. Out of all 8 banned Xyz monsters, this is the only one that's not a rank 4. Just goes to show how absurdly powerful rank 4s are in comparison to the other Xyz monsters, doesn't it? Zenmaity is a rank 3 water machine with 1500 attack and 1500 defense. Once per turn, you can detach 1 Xyz material from this card. Special summon 1 wind-up monster from your hand or deck. When a wind-up monster on the field is destroyed and sent to the graveyard, you can detach 1 Xyz material from this card, add that target to your hand. The summon from deck is just absurd, as we previously mentioned with MX Saber and Volker. This card could lead to many absurd combos with wind-ups, such as the Shock Lock and the notorious wind-up hand loop. Using this card with wind-up Hunter and some other wind-ups at the start of the combo could lead to you looping 4 or even 5 cards out of the opponent's hand, completely stopping them from doing pretty much anything at all on their turn. The banning of this card really stopped wind-ups from being a top tier deck, and if wind-up carriers and Zenmaity were to come back today, though it might not be the force that was back in wind-up format, it would certainly still be a powerful card, and maybe it'll even bring wind-ups up to the forefront, maybe a tier 2 deck or even a tier 1.5 deck if it gets lucky. Zenmaity is just an absolutely amazing card, and it does so much for wind-ups. It is definitely deserving of the number 2 spot. It's a great card overall, and wind-ups really were only as good as they were because of Carrier Zenmaity. It's just a card that does everything for the deck. It does everything it needs to, and as such, it's a great card, and it gets this spot. Yeah, that's deserves number 2. We're almost at number 1. Let's start getting into this. Oh, but before we get to number 1, there's an honorable mention. Number 42, Galaxy Tomahawk. Now, I want to put Galaxy Tomahawk on the list, but because it has yet to see any true competitive success, I'm going to leave in the honorable mentions for now. With the Link mechanic, this card is really good and has a lot of potential, and it can do a lot of crazy things right now. But no deck has been able to really use it and become top tier using this card. And this card has not gotten any major tops yet, at least not that I'm aware of. So I'm keeping it in the honorable mentions for now because it has a lot of future potential, though it has no past success or success right now. But again, there's a lot of potential with this card, so I couldn't leave without mentioning it. Not gonna talk about the effect, so yeah, on to number 1. Finally, at our number 1 spot, we have the one, the only, Dante, Traveler of the Burning Abyss. I just realized there's another Dante, so this isn't the one and only. Scratch what I just said there. Anyways, let's talk about Dante. Dante is a rank 3 light warrior monster with 1000 attack and 2500 defense. Its effect allows it to, once per turn, detach 1 Xyz material to choose a number from 1 to 3, mill that many cards, and this card gains 500 attack for each card milled successfully by this effect. If this card attacks, it is changed to the defense position at the end of the battle phase. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target one Burning Abyss monster in your graveyard, except itself, and add that to your hand. Dante is what makes the Burning Abyss deck work. The Burning Abyss deck will not exist without Dante. That's just a fact, okay? You cannot make a BA deck without Dante and expect it to be successful. And the card itself is just amazing. This is the rank 3 Minerva that potentially does more than Minerva. The mill effect is a cost and not an effect. It has a lot of attack power and changes itself to defense, so during the opponent's turn, when it loses its attack, it's in defense position, has high defense. So it's good for dealing damage, it's good for protection. You can rank it up into Beatrice, you can do the Seer Dante loop. Dante facilitates so much stuff for Burning Abyss, and Burning Abyss is one of the most successful decks of all time when we count like the sheer number of tops. It was never the best deck, except for maybe PK Fire, even then that wasn't absurdly powerful. But BA managed to maintain relevancy throughout so many formats, and windups exist without Zemedi. It might not be good, but it exists. Burning Abyss does not exist without Dante. It just cannot exist without Dante. And when Cherubini comes out, Burning Abyss is going to be even better. I mean, even without Cherubini, it topped in the current format, unless the ban list comes out as I'm uploading this, that would suck. It got top in the current format. It won the UK Nationals, even right now. And why? It's because of Dante. Dante is an amazing card. In my opinion, it is the best non-rank 4 Xyz, because the rank 4 Xyz completely outshine it, but it is the best non-rank 4 Xyz of all time. So yeah guys, that was it for the video. That's gonna be all for today guys. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and share this video with your friends if you think it was entertaining enough to do that. That'll really help the channel. I'll leave a comment down below telling me what you would like to see next, some ways I can improve on my videos. So yeah, that's gonna be all for today guys. Take care you all. Goodbye.